X-Men. Two of the most powerful mutants on the team are
Let's watch this one first. This is Storm versus Iceman. I'm actually curious to how this debate is going to go. I have an idea, but let's see what he says.
When you're talking about the X-Men, two of the most powerful mutants on the team are Storm and Iceman. One commands the weather itself, summoning hurricanes, lightning strikes, and even controlling the atmosphere on a global scale. The other is an Omega level mutant with absolute control over ice, water, and even his own molecular structure. So if these two ever clashed, the goddess of the storm versus the man who can freeze reality itself, who comes out on top? Let's find out. Iceman is Robert Bobby Drake, one of the original members of the X-Men. He joined the X-Men when he was only 15 years old. He's been on countless adventures with different X-Men teams over the decades. Iceman has always been a bit less mature than his teammates, and his mentality has often limited him from using his powers to their fullest potential. More recently, though, he's taken significant steps towards accepting himself, both as an Omega level mutant and one of the most powerful X-Men alive. Iceman has the powers of pyrokinesis, or the ability to control ice, snow, and temperatures. Technically, Iceman has the ability to control molecules and lower their temperature, with this often looking like controlling and manipulating ice, freezing the area, or altering and controlling his own body. Iceman is able to physically amp himself with his ice, making him superhumanly strong, fast, and tough. But this really isn't how he prefers to fight. He's so powerful that he's almost just beyond simply getting into a fist fight. But Iceman can still do some crazy stuff with his body, like transforming into a giant, or growing ice wings, or ice spikes, or basically any weapon or construct that he wants, completely warping his body at will. He's also able to instantly repair any damage that he takes, because his body is just water and ice, so he can just reform himself out of any of the water molecules that surround him, even drawing that water out of his opponent's body. Basically, there have been several times where Iceman has been vaporized or completely destroyed and disintegrated, only to reform, build himself a new ice body just a few moments later. He's able to launch out ice blasts, powerful enough to knock around the Juggernaut or even Phoenix Force Cyclops, as well as trap super strong characters like Hulk or the Thing completely in ice. His ice is powerful enough to threaten Thor in fights. He's actually overpowered Thor before, for as many frost giants that Thor has battled against. Well, Iceman actually scares him, with Thor believing that Iceman represents the great winter that precedes Ragnarok. He's able to create some seriously powerful ice shields, straight up shielding from nukes before. And Iceman can do all of this lightning fast, instantly freezing people before they even realize what's happening, or covering an entire city in ice at a moment's notice.
As the
and
ability
Iceman
is
isn't
crazy,
just simply shooting out ice blast or freezing things over. He's also able to create essentially a limitless variety of different ice constructs too, with it usually looking like creating a whole bunch of ice slides, shields, different weapons, things like that. But really, the sky's the limit for Iceman. Like, he can create essentially a small army out of himself, a whole bunch of ice clones that he can send out to just overwhelm opponents, even up to Hulks. Or Iceman can really go big with it too, creating massive ice monsters and giants in order to go out there and just completely smash some opponents. But Iceman doesn't just have powers over ice. He's got powers over cold. He can absorb heat, manipulate cold, and that actually makes Iceman seriously powerful. He can lower temperatures down to absolute zero, bringing Juggernaut down to completely absolute zero,
or even
freezing the speed of light and robbing Juggernaut of his momentum, knocking him away with a punch. He's also done things like freeze an entire celestial ship, completely stopped it from working. Or froze Legion down to the molecular level, another Omega level mutant. And that's the thing, Iceman is an
Okay.
Omega level
I
mutant,
didn't know that part.
meaning that Bobby has no upper limit to its powers and literally has infinite potential when
That's
it
so
comes to
crazy.
ice and cold manipulation. And that has allowed Iceman to do some absolutely insane things. Like he's frozen over hell before, literally caused hell to freeze. Or there was a time where Iceman tapped into more power than he ever had before and froze a fragment of the Black Winter, a multiversal cosmic being who is Galactus's boss. That's how great Iceman is. He's one of the most powerful mutants who's
Okay.
ever walked the face of the
All
Earth.
right. That's
Aurora
holy
Monroe, otherwise known as Storm, is an
yo.
Omega level mutant
They can't, yeah, they
member of
can't
the
give
X-Men,
the proper
sometimes
scaling for
even
some of these
being the
characters.
leader
Oh
of the
no.
team as they fight all sorts of different existential threats to the world. Gifted with the ability to manipulate the weather and all its aspects, Storm is among the most powerful of the X-Men, and at her best, one of the most powerful heroes that Marvel has to offer. Storm's powers look like she's manipulating weather. Well, that's pretty much true. She's actually technically manipulating all sorts of different energies that
Yep.
create weather, manipulating
Exactly.
thermal, kinetic, and electromagnetic energies at will. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, Storm manipulates the weather. And her go to move is creating storms and throwing around lightning bolts. And some of these storms can be seriously powerful. Like in a moment, she can create Category 5 hurricanes, or
Which
create
is
and control
crazy.
storms that are the size of continents.
I'm
At her
glad they broke
best,
her
Storm has managed to
abilities
create
down so
primal
much more.
storms
It
of the
helped.
kind that are able to sculpt planets. And it's not just insane raw power that Storm has, but she's also got just as much fine tuned control over the weather and her storms. Like she can create powerful gusts of wind that can blow around the Hulk. But then it also goes down to the point where she can manipulate the wind and air in someone's lungs, only letting them breathe when she allows it. And this really goes for lightning. That's Storm's main thing. She's able to launch out some absolutely massive lightning bolts, lightning that even Thor himself is jealous of. And her
Hmm.
lightning's been able to injure everyone from the Hulk to even Heralds of Galactus to Gladiator. And just like with all her other weather manipulation powers, Storm's control over electricity isn't just all flash and power. It's also amazing fine-tuned control, too, to the point where she can throw lightning to shock one person and not another, to even straight up manipulating the electrical neurons in someone's brain. And
Wow.
Storm isn't just a one-trick pony with some great weather manipulation powers. There's a reason why she was selected to be the leader of the X-Men. She's an excellent hand-to-hand fighter, able to beat up Cyclops without her powers. She's brilliant and an expert with her powers, knowing how to use them to their fullest extent, and has no problem with getting super creative with it as well. At the end of the day, Storm is an Omega level mutant, and that's about all you need to know. That alone instantly puts her up there as one of the most powerful heroes, not just on Earth, but in the entire universe. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, this
Dude,
is Omega level mutant versus Omega level
this
mutant here.
battle,
Both
yeah.
Iceman and Storm are seriously
Basically,
powerful.
whatever
I
territory
really
they're
do
on, she's
mean that.
gone.
Like, look at Iceman. He isn't just about ice, he actually controls heat and cold the same way that Magneto
It's gonna be
controls
tough for Storm, but I
magnetism.
don't know.
He could freeze the entire planet in an instant if he wanted
Yeah,
to.
freezing
And even
hell
more
is just
so, like we saw,
absurd.
Iceman is able to freeze hell over
That's just
and
a crazy
turn it
feat,
into a
but Storm
winter
has
wonderland.
better feats
But it
to
goes
me.
so much deeper with Iceman.
My
He
God.
isn't just manipulating ice and cold. He isn't just cooling things down and causing them to freeze, he's literally causing atoms to stop moving. That's why he's able to get things down to absolute zero in an instant. He just stops the atoms from moving and brings them to an absolute stop. It's how
Crazy.
Iceman is able to do
Getting
things
near
like
him is would be
freeze
impossible
the speed
too.
of light, freeze
Touching
time
him,
itself,
yeah, that,
or even straight up freeze cosmic beings
bro. How do
like the
you do
Black
that?
Winter. And it's not just raw
Wow.
power either, he's got a whole lot of versatility as well. He's able to create all sorts of ice constructs and weapons, manipulate all the water in the entire world,
He
and
repeated
then some
himself.
to stop Iceman from regenerating. But even outside of that, and for as powerful as Iceman is, Storm has better showings of pure, raw power. I mean, she is an Omega level mutant too. She's been able to create and control planet sized storms. She was able to control the
That's
entire
absurd.
climate across the whole planet of Mars, and even created an entire atmosphere for a planet of scrolls, along with a dwarf sun to go along with it. She has several planet level feats all by
Jesus.
herself. Storm has harnessed the power of the galactic core, which was composed of millions of suns. And in that moment, she shone brighter than a star. She was even able to create a storm around Yggdrasil, the world tree. And that storm threatened to spread out into all the realms, as well as threatened to tear the tree up from its roots. So yeah, Storm has some seriously impressive raw power, and she did it all by herself. She's able to fight against the adversary, a demonic god with the power to destroy and recreate universes, and someone on par with some higher tier demons like Mephisto. Well, Storm was able to beat the adversary and was said to be an even bigger god than him. And that's just a
Wow.
precursor to what she's done, because Storm's also been able to fight against a whole group of gods and beat them all. That group consisted of the adversary Bet Noir, the First Fallen, the Goblin Force, and the Elder God Annihilation. And
Okay.
Storm
Talk to
sent
him.
them running. And again, that's not the only thing she's done. While in the overspace, Storm threw a lightning bolt powerful enough to hurt 8 Dominions at once, with Dominions being a
They just gotta
race
be
of
more
being
creative with
powerful
how
enough
she used her
to
abilities
rival the Beyonders.
tactically, and
So
et
yeah,
cetera, et
we're
cetera.
talking about some serious power here.
This does lead into the black superhero electricity trope, but I would say that's probably lazy framing because it's just the way the people depict certain the characters and the storylines and plot lines. Like, if she can do what you say she can do, then she doesn't need to do certain things. There should be like smoke screens, hail. Obviously, she likely can control certain energies in the body, the forces of whatever surface she's on itself. It can get really creative. So it's just like, I guess, a default
But I think the
that they
biggest
use certain
kicker
abilities,
is
but
that everything Iceman can do, Storm can do too. She can control
it's gonna be tough
water and
though.
ice and
Yeah,
moisture just as easily as Iceman
it
can,
is gonna be tough for her. I'm not
on
gonna
top
lie.
of manipulating pretty much every other weather element out there. So basically, Iceman really can't do anything to hurt her, because she can instantly counter all of his powers, as she actually controls the same elements to a much higher degree. We've seen this play out before too. Storm and Iceman have fought before, and Storm is just easily able to counter all of Iceman's attacks. Bobby even admitted that he's lost every time that him and Storm have fought. It's a cool fight, and these are two insanely powerful mutants,
Don't get
but
me
the
wrong, he
winner
has a
is
shot,
pretty
but yeah, it's
obvious.
Storm
It's gotta
in
be
this case.
Storm. Storm wins.
I'm gonna be honest. Listen, that's a tough matchup because, like I said, the brother, outside of going against someone who not a direct counter, but someone who just fundamentally has so many sub like abilities that connect to his. It's really tough, and that's when you get into problems in comics because when an opponent has some form of understanding or ability that's similar to yours, it's just like okay, who has more control, or could she just defend anything? So great battle. Now with that being said, though, we got another video to get to, so